So let's go. Alright. Here we go, guys. We are spawning here into Blackpink, and we are going to be casting a series. We're going to be casting a series from the Memes and Dreams Invitational, a tournament run in the Project Unity Team House, which is the team house in Korea, housing players from all over the world. This particular series, from the earlier stages of the tournament, I believe. I'm not actually doing the games in any particular order because I don't want to spoil myself. So let's hope I get the replays in the right order. If I don't, that's fine. Well, at least this way it's exciting. Down here in the bottom left-hand side in the blue, representing Splice Esports, it is TY. One of the best Terran players in the world, and of course, he is from Korea, but his opponent, a Polish Zerg player who has been getting damn good at this game. Up here on the top right-hand side, representing Kulash, it is Elazer. Vegas in chat says, I'm watching a print VOD. It's a combination of being in awe of his methodical ways of executing his cannon rushes and being sick that this man is not in prison for his actions. I feel you, Vegas. I feel you, dude. It is, yeah, he's a little bit of a psychopath. He's a little bit of a psychopath. Who's the best StarCraft player ever? Oh, that's such a tough one, eh? So many answers on that, but in terms of just utterly dominating at certain periods of times, you know, like, I feel like it's so hard to go past, like, the periods of dominance that, like, actually, shit, man, that's so hard to answer. So hard to answer. MVP when he was at the top was definitely right up there. I feel like TY, you know, had an amazing couple of months in early 2017. He won IM Katowice. He won WESG 2016, of course. The finals for that played at the start of 2017. And TY won like 400 grand and was like, hey. He hasn't... It's crazy because TY should be the best player in the world if he could stop getting reverse killed. TY goes up 2-0 so many times and then loses 3 games in a row. It's kind of like Sue with coming second place in big tournaments. TY loves to get to like a top 8, a top 4, win 2 games, and then lose 3 in a row. And it's obviously not something he loves, but it just keeps happening. And it's kind of devastating for him because he is so damn good. But he keeps getting stopped in these reversals, and it's definitely something TY's got to work on in his play. Gonna have to see what he does here, guys. This is gonna be a reacted factory opening. Second gas is mining. Pretty standard stuff. This drone actually went to go for the other base, juked it, and went back in this direction. So Elazer not hiding the drone nice and early. Just gonna go and take that base. Both sides haven't lost anything yet. Third base is down for Elazer, so he's gonna be continuing to drone up. Main queen actually walks down to the natural. This queen is going to pop out there and replace it. And the queen at the natural immediately starts spreading creep after the first inject. Very, very smooth, refined opening here from Elazer. You can see he's still off gas for the moment. 0 gas in the bank. It's all just minerals, queens, drones, and zerglings. And here, just before 3 minutes 30, starts mining that gas one more time. Beautiful opening here by Elazer. As this natural saturated, we're going to see him start to queue up more queens. He's got the minerals for it. Haven't seen more overlords and queens just yet. Not really sure. Elazer, you get some money, dude. Where are the overlords? Where are the queens? Fourth queen starts up there. More overlords are now on the way. No 5th queen yet. Interesting. Relatively low queen style for now. Elazer not really spending his money quite as quickly as I would have expected. Normally he is so precise with his opening, but maybe having a different idea from me so far in this game. Overlord's going to come in for the sacrifice. There's actually a fake cloak on the way, but that is a fake. What do I mean by that? I mean, he started it when he saw the Overlord come in. He's going to cancel at the moment that Overlord dies so that Elazer thinks it's a Banshee when in fact it is a Raven. So Elazer comes in, sees, of course, that upgrading. It cancels the upgrade. TY gets the money back, and the Raven has not been spotted. Elazer knows he's up against some sort of potential Cloaked Banshee, potential Liberator, potential Viking, potential Medevac. There's a ton of different things that could come out. TY is just going to go across with this Raven, join up with the Hellions, clear a bit of creep, and then maybe go for a bit of auto turret harass. Third command center and a siege tank on the way, so this is just very safe follow-up from TY. Could always explode into some sort of 2 or 3 siege tank bio pressure. Looks like it is going to be 2 barracks with reactors A 1 with the tech lab can queue up combat shields after the stim. So we could be looking at about a 7.5 minute tank push on the third base from this low ground, or of course aiming to deny the fourth, probably more importantly. Ravens and Hellions are going to come forward for now, clear up a few creep tumors. Queen's going to come forward to push that back. There is a Roach Warren almost finished here for Elazer. Of course, mech is so common right now. A lot of people like these Roach openings. They make your life a lot easier against mech. But in this particular game, TY is going for stim. He's going for engineering bay. Double engineering bay? Where's the second engineering bay? Am I blind? Oh, they are both right there. Okay. I couldn't see this one. Apparently I'm blind. Siege tank kills a few Zerglings. Wall is raised. Elazer still doesn't really know about the engineering bay. Doesn't know that it's a bio follow-up. Did see a tech lab on the barracks though, so maybe that alone is enough to let him know. And he's just saying, you know what? I'm just going to play a mass roach style. We do see double Evo coming down nice and late. About 5 minutes 30. Now, normally this is good because it allows him to drone up really hard, defend with plenty of Queen, Zerglings, Roaches. But TY really hasn't swung at him at all. I think if he'd swung, if he'd looked for some damage, Elazer would have slapped it down. So I think this is a little bit of a meta play from TY saying, you know what, you're always very well prepared on the defense. I'm just going to poke. I'm going to go up to a third. I'm going to build tanks for safety. We've got that stim almost ready, going up to 5 barracks, 1-1 on the way. This is just a clean, straight into the bio macro game for TY. Meanwhile, 64 drones are already up for Elazer. No 4th base on the way yet. Now I wonder, does he just hit a huge 3 base, a Roach Ravager timing with 1-1? Or does he actually try to macro out of this and go into like Hydras and maybe Infestors and Broodlords and whatever the hell else? I mean, that's more of a snoot style, not something you imagine Elazer doing very much, but we'd have to wait and see. For now, he still doesn't necessarily know that it's bio play. And maybe Elazer's just operating under the illusion that it's mech, but with such a late 4th, I imagine even if it was mech, he was going to do a Roach push, because the gases on the 4th are so late. You need that gas to go up to Vipers if you're playing versus mech. Ooh, gonna do a nice Zergling run by into that natural while poking the 3rd base. This is very well done. Gonna focus down a few SCVs. TY a little bit slow to fight with those SCVs. Could have pulled those off the line. These Lings gonna take down multiple units on the south side. The Roaches being chased down. They kill a few Hellions on the retreat though. A total of 6 workers fall, a few Roaches and Zerglings. The only losses for Elazer. A really nice way to slow down TY and even gonna get a Marine or 2. Really good to try and take those down before all those upgrades finish. Elazer is going to sacrifice one of those Roaches there, though. And more Roach Ravager coming across. We've got Ravagers starting to morph. Elazer here at 170 supply. He's slightly supply blocked right now, but he's been spending his money perfectly, so it's not a big deal. The Raven, of course, could go auto turrets, or it could land a Shredder missile, which combined with the Marines is so deadly. There we go. Does tag only 4 of those Roaches with that. TY coming forward. Oh, God, you got to get out of there, TY. That's a ton of Zerg coming in from Elazer. 4 siege tanks are there. They've got a pre-spread. The Raven gonna spot the angle these units are coming for. Elazer, realizing he might not be able to bust this, is already building 11 drones behind this, but he needs to trade these units out, and he needs to do it now. They aren't going to be effective in the later stages. Gets a planetary kill. That command center was not cancelled. 1 siege tank goes down in the front, but look at that amazing Shredder missile landing on it. Corrosive vials landing on the siege tanks, though. Siege tanks are starting to fall, but Marines coming in from the ramp. The reinforce is good. The SCVs pulled off the line. All the siege tanks have fallen, but the Ravagers are dying in return, and that is a trade TY is happy to make. He knows those Ravagers are bloody expensive. He's kept most of the SCVs alive on his base, and now he's got a second factory with a tech lab coming up, so he's going to be able to rebuild those tanks, and a 4 or 5 siege tank push could do wonders later on in the game. He's going to go across with the Liberator. That already is queued up to siege up on these gases on the 3rd base. Elazer's got the 4th base gases up, but where is the hive? Where is the infestation pit? He's only now starting 2-2. He's gas starved, and I talked about this earlier. Not only was it a late 4th, but these gases only now started mining, and that's a big misstep from Elazer. That's going to curtail his ability to transition into the next stage of this game. Zergling there does delay that SCV from building the command center, but nice dodge from TY. Another Shredder goes down. Very ballsy maneuver here from TY, just focusing down Roaches, picks up and boosts out. Back at home, he's got a 4th base on the way, and now it looks like he's swapping into just keep the Zerg occupied mode. He doesn't have a lot of defense at home, but if he can just keep Elazer on this side of the map, then TY has the freedom to just macro up, slowly build up that tank count. His 5 barracks are massing them out. He's going up to 8 barracks behind that. And TY's full steam ahead, 2-2, almost finished. We've got that Liberator, which already killed 5 drones on the south side at the 3rd. Does end up getting killed. My bad for missing that first wave of pressure. Good defense by Elazer, though. It's not taking massive damage. He's respread the creep through the center. North side of the map is missing a lot of creep spread here, but he's once again forced to remax on mostly roaches. This is what TY wants. TY has done the job. He says, yep, forced you to build a ton of roaches. Guess what? I am making mass bio tank with better upgrades than you. And once you get maxed out with bio tank, Roach Ravager just does not perform in large numbers against that composition. Roach Ravager is good here in the mid game. The problem with Roach Ravager is it's so supply intensive, and the units really aren't worth the 3 supply per Ravager, the 2 supply per Roach that they cost. So once you butt up against that supply cap, you just cannot squeeze enough Roach Ravager in your army. The cost is great in terms of resources, but the supply is always painful. Roaches and Ravager is going to try and siege down this base. He's going to take down the sensor tower, but he's taking a lot of damage from those tanks. They are going to pull back. Forces the lift on the 4th. Nice multi-prong from Elazer here, trying to trade out these units, not in a frontal clash, which he's destined to lose, but trying to just take what fight he can. But man, the Shredder and the Marines are just relentless. TY just stims on top of that army. He says, get wrecked. At the same time, a drop comes in on the 3rd. Once that Queen goes down, we are going to see workers starting to fall. And indeed, oh man, there we go. The focus fire is good. TY focuses down about 5 or 6 workers very quickly, saves 4 of the Marines, brings it up to 10 workers killed. Both sides trading blows here. The problem, as I said, for Elazer is he's going into Hydras, he's going to Hive, and it's not the best composition against Bio. You really need Fungal or something to land on the Marines, but the thing is, Infestors suck against Siege Tanks, so looks like Broodlords is going to be his answer. Spire on the way, but Broodlords are still a long way from eventualizing in this game, actualizing. The Roaches and Ravagers going to come forward, finally going to take down that Siege Tank and start to do some damage, but oh man, nice corrosive vials is gonna not even, okay, does get 1 siege tank, but man, even the Marines can push through this. The Ravagers do not pack enough of a punch. The supply count is a little bit low here for Elazer, but he's starting to damage the 3rd. He's killing a ton of SCVs there. He's gonna slowly get cleaned up. Does get the siege tank. No, he misses the last vial. And that base is defended. TY does still have a healthy 4th as well, remember. So even losing a lot of SCVs, it's painful, but he's rebuilding those SCVs. He's got his +3 on the way. He's starting to push forward, trying to get the biles on the siege tanks. Elazer does manage to take down 1, but Hydras and Roaches dying as they pop out. Equal upgrades on both sides, but TY has managed to isolate the 5th base on the south. It's going to go down. These units that are popping out also going to fall. The Spire is still not finished. He's going to jump on the front. Oh my god, Elazer's going to try to break this, knowing those units are out of position. But I think there's just too many Marines and Siege Tanks. The medevac healing, keeping this small number of Marines alive for so long. Finally, this Siege Tank goes down. It looks like that Siege Tank barely broken, and Elazer breaking out of this contain. But he loses a base, he loses a few workers. And I mean, I'm actually amazed he's still alive, to be honest. It's not a great position though. He's equal in supply against a Terran who's getting ahead of him in upgrades. He's swapping into melee upgrades. He's trying to rebuild his work account. He needs to keep TY back, so it looks like a Roach counter. Maybe just ignore the planetary and just focus down SCVs would be a good way to do damage. Roach is on the south as well. He wants to swap into Hydras as most of his army. He's got the movement speed, he's almost got the range, that'll be coming in soon. These Roaches gonna get gunned down. Marauders and Marines say, nah dude, get wrecked. This siege tank up here covering the base very well. Elazer can't really get any damage. The Roaches all on the top side go down, and once again we find another base in the open. TY ahead in supply by about 25 army supply right now. More Ravagers being forced to morph. Not really what you want to spend your money on as Elazer right now. You'd love to be making Broodlords or anything, but he needs the meat on the ground. You can't go Broodlords when you've got no ground army, so Elazer constantly being reset. He's trying to create chaos, and within that chaos, slow down TY closing out the game. If TY can just force a series of frontal pushes, he should wear Elazer down. This is why Elazer's trying to spread creep to get a little bit more control over the map. He's trying to respread the creep in the middle. He's trying to counterattack. He wants to try to find a way back into this game, but this army is scary. We've got 6 siege tanks moving forward, a ton of Marines and Marauders. Hydra's off creep, but no match for this army. All Elazer can do is buy time. The problem is, what's he buying time for? He doesn't even have a hatchery on the bottom. He can't run his drones away. There's nowhere else for them to mine. He's going to try and fight this, but his army, I don't think it's big enough. A fungal growth would be huge here, but he just doesn't have any infestors. He doesn't have any Vipers out either. And he's got to have one of those spellcaster units at this stage. There's just too much bio tank. Lands a nice bile, but his army's out here. He can't keep fighting in this area. Roach Ravager is going to counterattack. He takes out one of the siege tanks there, but too many Marines come forward. His Roaches and Ravagers get gunned down on the retreat. Elazer, you need to re-expand to the south side of the map. You cannot hold this top side. Oh, he's going to jump on the tanks when they're on siege. TY caught unawares here. His siege tank's out of position. I don't know if he's actually... Oh, he's got a siege tank in the back. He's got another one further back as well, actually. So TY is going to lure the Roach Hydra Queen into that tank line. And that's going to be it. Elazer's going to run out of steam here. He just lost a mining base. TY is still rock solid on 4 bases. Still 2 more siege tanks to fall back on him with the Roaches and Hydras falling. That's the damage output. A huge reinforcement from TY. And the desperate counterattacks just not finding the damage. Elazer fighting very well from behind, but as I said earlier, not really a player I imagine playing a Roach Hydra game against Bio. It's always an odd position to be in. He did a damn good job of it, but I feel like spellcasters are always the great equalizers, where it's Blinding Cloud off Vipers. Some games it's Fungal. Like I said, Fungal's better against heavy Bio. With double tank production, it's maybe squeeze out 2 or 3 Infestors. I think could have definitely turned that around. If you land the Fungal, especially when it's a surprise, that would have been huge. Whoa, what happened, guys? So the donation bar was in the way? Todd can't understand what's happening? Well, you guys are really angry about that. Okay, I get it. I'm really sorry about that, guys. I'm very sorry. That's obviously a mistake. My bad. Sorry, I haven't used the donation bar in a while. But you can tell what's going on without it. I apologize, guys. It sucks. But whoa, everyone's like radiocast. You guys could see the game, right? You guys could see the game, right? Okay, you were just memeing. All I saw was people say like, oh, radiocast, and I was like, oh, I was so worried. Okay, so this is what I imagined when I looked at chat just then. I thought like this was happening. I was like, fuck! What did I do? Mom! I fucked up. Sorry, guys. Okay, I was like, whoa, did you guys not see any of that game? No, I apologize. That's obviously really shit. Sorry, guys. I do apologize for that one. Let me... Oh, shit, what did I just move? Just moved the wrong thing. Let me put that back down to size. So, I don't know, was that like there? Yeah. My bad. I mean, you guys can do it without seeing the supply. It's like not the end of the world, right? So anyway, guys, next map is Neon Violet. Oh, what the fuck? Some like fucking... Some of my lunch is on my leg. Have you guys ever had that? You just found some of your lunch on your leg? I just found a bunch of crumbs in my hairy leg hair. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry. All fixed now. Let's go into game number 2. Gita board, thank you so much to the Twitch Prime sub, friend. Here we go, guys. Back into the series, game number 2. Game 1 did go to this man down here in the blue, the Terran player. He is TY. His opponent up here in the top left-hand side in the red, it is Elazer. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, okay, I looked at chat, everyone was like, radiocast. I was like, fuck, I screwed it, guys. What did I was on the Diva screen the whole time. I look and I'm like, I wasn't on the Diva screen. What? It's like, oh, right, it's the different overlay, so it blocks there. Sorry, guys, my bad. But it's all good now, because we got some Neon Violet Square action. So let's see. We saw Bio from TY last game, and I feel like currently Terran players at the top level can play both. They're kind of swapping between it. It's super weird. I know I have lunch on my leg. It's really weird. I just found some crumbs on my leg. It's so bizarre, dude. I don't even know how that got there. So this is one of the group stage matches, guys. It is a best of 3. That was a crazy series. Watch a close series, not this one-sided murder. Really, Light Pointer? You think this is a one-sided murder? My man. This is actually a good series, dude. I don't know who won it. I don't know how the games went. I didn't get to watch any of the tournament. I watched like a tiny bit of a few greens, but I was not able to do it, to watch much. So from what I saw in that game 1, this is pretty close. Unfortunately, I think kind of Elazer gambled a little bit thinking he was going up against Mech, is the way I read that game one. I think after seeing Bio in that game, Elazer's going to scout a little bit harder because I think he would love to tailor his composition and play Lingbane Hydra if he's playing against a Bio player. That's really like Elazer in his comfort zone. And funnily enough, he was for a long time playing Lingbane Hydra against Mech as well, but it seems like maybe he's turned away from it recently. The sheer amount of aggression that can come out of a Terran player probably forcing him into feeling like he needs roaches for that safety. We'll see how we go. Alright, Reaper's going to come in. We're going to see exactly how it goes. I mean, if you guys have already seen the series, obviously, like, you don't need to watch. I'm sorry, guys, but if you've seen the series, that's fine. No need to spoil everyone else, guys. Can you not? Come on. Reaper's coming in. He's going to try and pick off some Zerglings. Already got one. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, he saves it with a Spore at the last second there. And he's actually going to go for the third base in the back. Wow! Elazer going for a very conservative base. Now, part of the power of that is TY has brought an SCV. Elazer spotted the SCV. He knows that's there blocking. So he's like, yeah, I'll just take the half third, take a fast fourth. So I think this is not a bad adjustment by Elazer at all. Meanwhile, TY here making a starport is going to be attacking up. Of course, these casts, I like to do it a little bit just kind of like looking at what the players are doing for my own learning, as well as kind of instructing on the details of what they're focusing on. So hopefully you guys enjoy this sort of cast. It's not always, sometimes it'll be very excited if I get excited by the plays, but otherwise it's just kind of looking at the details. So this is just such a good way to play right now. Just always go barracks gas. It gives you the Marine, so the Marine can kill the Overlord. Now that's important. Why is that important? Because you want to kill that Overlord. He's not even faking Cloak this time. Now, the reason for that is because he's queuing a Liberator. So that's interesting. I feel like TY would always fake Cloak. But we just found a Telg. So guys, if you ever see him doing that, he's probably going for a Liberator opening. That's 4 workers killed, 4-2 Hellions. As long as this Reaper doesn't get any more, I think this is totally fine for Elazer. I think part of the reason TY did this is he kind of wanted to spot if there was an all-in coming. By diving in there, he saw there was a lot of drones. He knows there's no all-in. That Liberator is now almost out. We've got more Hellions on the way. And an Armory, actually. I wonder, he might even queue up a Medevac after this Lib, since he's committing to the Armory. May go for a big Hellbat timing. Otherwise, we'll see just 2 Cyclones queue up, as well as a +1 upgrade. The Starport is now queuing a Raven. A little bit of a supply block here for TY. Is just going to wall off that side. It looks like he's going to take the very safe third base as well. Meanwhile, on Elazer side, Roachhorn and Lair is there. And we'll see exactly how this one goes. Hellions are just going to poke. These ones won't sacrifice. It would be crazy to dive with these Hellions right now. I say that, but Elazer's actually being a greedy boy and only has 5 queens right now. There we go. Okay, just going to go for the Hellbats and just going to do some frontal pressure. Roachhorn still ages away. That's a delayed Roachhorn. Oh my god, he's put so many creep streamers down. He's got no transfuse. And Elazer engaging with the Zerg. Oh, good pullback on the Zerglings. Great pullback on the Zerglings. Nice hold. Okay. All right. It's funnily enough, Elazer only had 2 Zerglings for a while there. So if the Hellions went for the run by it, probably would have killed a lot of drones. But there's no way to know that as TY. And that's why it is a pretty safe sort of greed from Elazer with the way he did that. More queens, just going to replace the creep here. Going to see Roach Speed on the way. And a second Armory down. TY wanting to go double upgrades. Wow. Really? He's going to go double ups. This is old school mech, guys. I guess because he's got the safe third in the back, he says, why not? Let's just go double upgrades. Only now, at almost 6 minutes starting the second and third factory. The Hellions have been repelled, though. They're not really doing any more damage. We've got Overlord Speed on the way for Elazer. Interesting. May go for a drop. Wouldn't mind a bit of drop play against mech. 4th base is out as well for Elazer. As I said, he needs that fast 4th, or he just doesn't have enough mineral patches. Already his 3rd is oversaturated on that. Did the Raven ever end up coming out, guys? Yes, it did, but it's actually backing off right now. A little bit of an odd choice. Whoa, sorry, guys. I just pressed the back key. We rewound 10 seconds. Where's he scanning? He's scanning the natural. I think TY might be worried about a Nidus Worm. He is absolutely worried about a Nidus Worm right now. Look at this. He sees the Overseer coming in. TY's like, oh, shit. There's gonna be a Nidus. Pull everything home. Pull everything home. Pull everything home. Pull everything home. Follow the Overseer. Follow the Overseer. He's so worried about a Nidus. Luckily for Elazer, Elazer has no plans of Nidusing this game. Because TY didn't see anything with that. He's like, wait, there's no drones popping out. There's no units popping out. So he thought there must be a Nidus worm filled with roaches somewhere that was going to pop into his base. But nope. Ends up just pulling home for no reason. Gives Elazer a little bit more freedom on the map. Not a terrible choice by TY. Better safe than sorry, right? But definitely not finding the damage which he might have otherwise liked to have. Already going into double tank production as well as double Viking. Double Viking is going to be very nice for chasing off these overlords. And those upgrades, of course, powering their way out. A bunch of roaches coming across to pressure. This time around, Elazer going straight for the infestation. No doubt will rush his hive. I'd like to see a Hydra Den as well behind this. And double upgrades starting up. So yeah, Elazer's just going to go straight to the anti-mech. Roach, probably a Hydra Viper, I would imagine. Let's see how quick that hive is. Infestation pit finished. 2 seconds from the infestation pit finishing to the hive starting. Yeah, he's got one thing on his mind. It's a Roach Hydra Viper. Probably into Broodlords is the normal way to play this. I have a very old daily talking about Dark using this build and how he shuts down mech. Of course, it's a little bit different to how I tend to play against mech these days with the rogue style of Hydra Baneling Swarm Host into Vipers. But it's still a very good style. And this one, it's a lot easier to control the early aggression with the Roaches. Hellbats, Cyclones, that sort of stuff, way easier to deal with when you can just build a bunch of Roaches. Whereas Queens, Lings, and Banes, obviously very vulnerable to surprise pressure and attacks getting out of control. 3 more starports on the way. TY, oh my god, TY is playing the dirtiest, turtliest style of mech in the world. He's going to go 3 starports with Tech Labs and start massing Ravens. Using the gas on this back base, he's going to take the most careful 4th of all time. Already building engineering bays as part of a wall, as well as, of course, for their upgrades and the ability to get missile turrets. But that is just insane, dude. TY comes forward, snipes off some creep, and TY has, like, no plans of attacking. He's just like, nah, I'm just going to turtle. That's what I'm going to do. This is such a weird playstyle to play against as a Elazer. Now, we've seen TY do this sort of thing before. He tried to rush Ghosts in a tournament game. I think it was at IEM Katowice, and he just died to like a big Roach Hydra Viper push because he was like rushing Ghosts out of 3 barracks before even getting enough mech. And I wonder if that's going to happen here. I mean, he's got such a nice setup, and it is Neon Violet. It's the best map for it, right? But 5 Vipers are already out. They're going to start sucking energy off the hatcheries, the Hydra Dens, the Extractors immediately. They're going to get up a ton of energy and run across the map. The problem for Elazer is he might not realize what sort of army he's moving into. And realistically, I think his best bet is to run forward and just abduct as many siege tanks as possible, or blinding cloud them and just try to overwhelm. Spread against the Shredder missiles, because he should have a timing attack where there isn't enough Shredder to clear his Roach Hydra. If he just spreads them out and goes in with a big attack, uses his spells to take out the tanks, it's only 2 siege tanks at a time, guys. What are the upgrades? 2-1? He's actually frozen on his upgrades right now as TY as well. A little bit curious that he'd go into this off double armory. I gotta be really critical. I think the double armory is a massive waste of money if you're planning to go into Ravens, because he's not even investing in that much Hellbat tank to begin with. So maybe it was an adjustment based on how the game's going. He's saying, you know what, let's not use that. But definitely an odd choice, and a very fast 5th here for TY. TY is like, look, if I can defend this, I win the game. Parasitic Bomb lands on the Raven. Quick pull out by TY. Another one lands on another Raven. That damage starting to go down, but the Roaches and the Hydras are repelled by the siege tanks. And this is great. Yeah, you're getting some damage on the Ravens. Like, that's cute and all. But you've got to take these rocks down, Elazer. You've got to get in there and start killing. There's not that many siege tanks right now. If he actually just broke these rocks and pushed in, he'd be good. But I think Elazer's not realizing the timing that he has in front of him. He's played this opening so well. Now he grabs a few siege tanks, drops a parasitic bomb, but I think this is a little bit too indecisive. Elazer, you've got to back off. You've got to get out of that. I love this Hydra on the high ground. Very nicely done. He should just keep doing that all game long. Keep picking off the SCVs from the high ground, forcing scans or flying units to go to that right-hand side. But for now, he's leaving his Vipers up front. He's not refreshing their energy. I don't like this move from Elazer, guys. I think this is a bad choice. Does a parasitic bomb, but I mean, TY had so much time to see that coming. He just lands the Viking, says, yeah, that actually just did nothing, dude. I don't even care. Greatest Myers on the way. 2-2 upgrades are about to finish. Elazer, you've got to get more energy on those Vipers. A huge misplay from Elazer. These Vipers should have tried to dump all their energy, go back, get more energy. He should, if he doesn't want to go too far back, build Evo chambers in the middle, but you cannot afford to just sit here with this. He's now moving out to build Spore Crawlers outside. I feel like Elazer's missed a chance to slap down on TY's style. I'm going to be super critical. I think TY's style is shit. I think he could have played a more regular mech style, transitioned a little bit later. I do not think 2 factories building siege tanks is enough to secure 5 bases like this. I don't like the way TY did this, but you gotta say, look, these players don't see everything I do. Elazer doesn't know what he's going up against. He only sees the stuff on the edge. But I think as soon as he saw that fast fifth, he saw the fast Ravens, rather than going for spores, he should just be focusing on refilling energy on the Vipers, going again, refilling the energy, going again. He's not doing that, and that's what's hurting him. Because, yeah, you're picking off, yeah, you're being efficient. Look, he's ahead in the units lost. Being ahead in the units lost will not win you a game in the long run against Ravens. You need to be way ahead if the Terran's already got 5 bases. Elazer's not doing that. And even though he's got a nice economy, suddenly we see TY says, oh, you know what, go deal with this. You know what, I'm gonna build 3 more command centers and a fusion core. I'm gonna get every upgrade in the book. And you can keep picking at me with those Vipers, but at a certain point, I'm gonna have enough Ravens, I'm gonna have BCs, Vikings, and I'm gonna punish you, and I'm gonna start being the efficient one. You're gonna be the one who starts taking more damage than me. So I feel like Elazer is having a little bit of a kind of time dripping out of the hourglass situation. If he wants to play mega late game, he's still gonna be in a good position to do that, but he's gonna need infestors. And in my opinion, Swarmos would be amazing as well, obviously being able to throw free units from afar. If he just stays on Hydras, that's not going to cut it. He's going Broodlords, just 5 of them, and is going into Swarmos, so this is how you play mega late game against this sort of army, but if you don't add infestors in, things can go very badly for you. Shredders go down, ooh, lands a couple, but really not too impactful, mostly just bruising the units. The Queens being up front and center for Elazer is going to allow him to transfuse these units. The Broodlords, they offer very good frontal fighting power. I feel like they're pretty much dead supply in this situation, not really useful. I think he needs more Spore Crawlers. We need more creep spreading around the edges as well to make it so it's hard for TY to take these other bases. And as Elazer, it's got to be about landing spells. It's got to be about picking away at the edges and landing spells, using Locusts, using Parasitic Bomb, using Infestors. But now TY says, I've got unlimited scan, I will see you every single time. Parasitic Bomb lands. Oh my god, but he loses every single Viper. Kills a Raven and damages a Viking for it. Great trade there for TY. Elazer takes down 1 siege tank, does a bit of damage. Swarm hosts are great, just 8 of them though, not really going to cut it. You need to go up. Oh, he's got 12 now. I feel like about 13 or 14 is kind of the minimum to really consistently find damage in this scenario. Since there's no ghosts out, maybe he doesn't need that many. Ghosts really are, or Hellions, Hellbats are the units which shred Locusts. If you don't have a ton of 3/3 ghosts out, maybe they can keep doing damage. We've got more factories on the way behind us. Locusts are coming in from that side as well. They're going to start just picking off this orbital. Does force it to lift. Elazer's got a little bit of a contain, but as I said, he's not really spreading down the edges of the map quite as well as I would like to see. He's got Roaches chasing Hellions. TY trying to pull the pressure away, not really finding it just yet. These Locusts starting to do damage here. That's really nice. I love the Swarmos. They're so efficient. Oh no! Queens and Hydras derp into the tank lib. We've got a Ghost Academy and 4 more barracks on the way now. TY realizing he's going to need to add in some ghosts to round out this composition. This game is insane. 98 SCVs for TY. That's actually, that's too many. But at least this way, if he loses a bunch, it doesn't really matter. Oh, Swarmos, get out of there, dude. Oh no, he's going to lose a couple of them. Throwing some more Locusts out. The auto turrets force the Locusts to land early. Well done by them. Broodlord's starting to fall. The Broodlord's really, like I said, not doing much here. Where are the Infestors? I always talk about this. In this situation, we haven't seen anyone at the top level utilizing Infestors. Finally, Elazer has got a single Infestor down here. You want to have a little pack of those. Landing Fungal on the air units combined with Parasitic Bomb is what really seals the deal. It's also great for dealing with ghosts and just trapping any army out of position. Infested Terrans can also be good for picking off air units, so definitely having a few Infestors is nice. I think the Broodlord, not really the most necessary unit to be using here. We'll have to see, of course, how Elazer tries to handle it. Doesn't seem to have a special control group for his Vipers. Oh, okay, so I think he's got... Okay, 7 Infestors on control group 1. No control group for Vipers. Does he even have any Vipers left? He's got 2. But he's just kind of manually using them. Okay. So he's focusing on infestors now. I like that choice. A couple of shredders on their own don't do a lot of damage, not a big deal. Just going to keep picking away at missile turrets. Ooh, lands a fungal on a couple of these ravens. Does a little bit of damage. Every bit of damage is definitely good. Units lost tab still is actually now in TY's favor. So yeah, as I said, he's going to start to get really efficient as the game goes on. Part of this sort of siege your opponent down plan as Zerg should have been to mine out the corner bases quicker. He should have already taken the top right. He's only taken the top left. These Vikings came a little bit too far forward. Is he trying to sacrifice those? I'm not even sure. But he's going to lose all of those there, and a few Seekers do go down here. What is Elazer going to rebuild with that supply? Missile turrets are going down. We've got 7 Cyclones building. Mass 3-2 Cyclone? Super random. Maybe just going to try to jump on top of these units, say, ha, surprise, I have air units, ground units, and you don't have anything that attacks ground other than swarm hosts. He's gone up to 20 swarm hosts. But he's still got 5 roaches, 4 hydras. I mean, he's also got... how many queens do we have? No queens at this point at all? Okay, so he's not wanting to waste supply on queens. That's a strategic choice by Elazer, saying I need it all on units to get these efficient trades. He's going to take out some more stuff here. We've got some tanks trying to trade off. Roach Hydra catches those. We still haven't seen any battle cruisers, which makes me a little bit sad. I'd love to see BCs, but they're a little bit expensive and awkward to use, so I can understand why he's not bothering. So yeah, if you guys ever want, yeah, I'll keep bringing up the units lost tab so we can track that throughout the game. It's gone back to close to even right now. Cyclone's coming in, looking for a hatch snipe. That's cute. Very cute, but already, yeah, like I said, TY's getting bases for free up here. The Swarmers should have rotated and sniped this base already, but he's focusing too much on one direction. I've lost a lot of games to this same problem that Elazer's dealing with right now. These Cyclones going to try and force the Locusts to land, and then they're just going to pull back. Trying to use Shredders to actually deal with the Locusts, kind of hilarious. It's losing a lot of Cyclones here. Yeah, I can't say I really agree with the Cyclone switch here. He's building more as well. Super weird choice by TY. Vipers are going to come forward. They're looking for some parasitic bombs. Just going to back on out. That Viper is going to die there before it could use its energy. Of course, having the interference matrix locked down at spellcasting. This siege tank doing a good job. Ooh, actually might start to ravage those drones if they try to pull forward there as well. Oh, these units are way too clumped. Elazer, you've got to pull back. You're too far, close to the front. Oh no, Swarmo's starting to fall here. Oh, Elazer struggling with this unit comp. And his Hydra is starting to take big damage as well. Locusts will start to push this back, but look at this. TY freely expanding in the top side of the map right now. Units lost. Once again in TY's favor by about 2,000 resources. Hits himself with some Shredder missiles. A little bit sloppy there from TY. Planetary Fortress is taking some big damage. Does barely manage to hang on. A few SCVs do fall, but he's got so many, I don't think he really cares. We've got 2-2 almost finished, and 5 ghosts are starting up. So the ghosts being added in now will make a big difference. Hydras do have 3-3, as do the Cyclones in a moment. Plus 3 armor about to finish. More Cyclones going to the bottom left as well. These spines, unfortunately, are going to bleed out. And there we go. Oh, the fungal! Oh my god, he chains it. Lands a very nice second fungal. Doesn't get to do the killing blow, but you can imagine if a parasitic bomb landed there, that would have been pretty much lights out for most of those Ravens. Any that remained would have been deep in the red. And that would have been a disaster for TY. This is where you've got to wait for those moments. Keep throwing Locusts, keep sniping bases, and have your Infestors and Vipers ready for the moment. But you also got to be careful not to get caught. One of the big problems Elazer's having right now is he doesn't have any Banelings, doesn't have any Hydras left at the front. And that's really tough for him. His Hydras are kind of trying to deal with these multi-prong, but TY just out-multitasking him, coming in with the mobility of the Cyclones. The Hydras are just not that fast off creep. And it's what I was talking about earlier. You need creep over the edges, and you need to deny these new bases coming up. If this base wasn't mining, TY would be getting a little bit starved at this point. This base is being sniped on the gold. The Swarmers finally doing some damage. A fungal lands on the ghosts. Another one lands there. A ghost goes down. A Cyclone goes down. Another great fungal. And oh no, he went too far. Loses a few of those Infestors. Does kill a few more ghosts though. So, I mean, they're trading pretty damn close still. Tied neck and neck. Elazer actually slightly ahead in the trading. The problem for Elazer right now is he's lost so many workers. He's down at 38 drones and he needs to rebuild those. But because he stopped building queens, he's actually very low on lava right now. And he's trying to rebuild drones, but there we go. Hatchery's getting sniped. Oh no. Elazer showing us some great efficiency with the Swarm Host play. Not going to be enough though, because he's lost too many bases on the sides, and TY's expansion's just continuing to go into that top right-hand side. I talked about how you've got to mine out these corner bases as early as possible, and Elazer's game plan isn't necessarily to be cost efficient. It should have been more focused around hold those bases and don't be too cost inefficient. If he manages to hold those bases, keep rotating the Swarm Hosts rather than hitting the same area, things change a lot. Oh my god, the fungal lands everywhere, but all of the infestors get shattered by the Shredder missiles. Both sides take massive damage there. Man, if he had a bunch of speed banes, or a few parasitic bombs coming in on a flank or anything like that, it could have totally changed that, but instead TY's Ghost Raven pushing through there. Cyclones run in and say, get wrecked hatchery. They just do far too much damage. 8 damage, and they attack 10 times a second. Of course, they're doing 70 damage a second per Cyclone against the hatchery once you account for its 1 armor. What is that, 4 times 7? What's 4 times 7? They do 280 hit points a second. So against a hatchery, that's about 6 volleys. Takes about 6 seconds for 4 plus 3 Cyclones to kill a hatchery. That is insane. That is actually insane. They kill stuff so fast. And now, Hellions being mixed in. And against the low numbers of Hydras on their own, they're going to do really well. The Planetary does go down again. The Locust looking for damage, but remember, they have a timed life. Swarm Hosts need an almost infinite amount of time to pick away at their opponent. The moment your position gets broken, your creep gets broken, your economy gets broken, the Swarm Hosts are not that useful. Hydra's going to come in. They want to save this base. They will barely be able to do it, but it's a target for later on. These Hydras going down. These Hellions are just getting insane amounts of value. They managed to get Fester. Another Hydra almost falls there. These Swarm Hosts finally decide to hit this economy. The rotation of the Swarm Host is one of the most dangerous parts of them, but he's done it too late. And whilst he will do some damage to that economy, he loses about 7 Swarm Hosts for it. The Locusts come in, but they waste a lot of their damage on the orbitals. He kills one, 2 lift, does take out the Planetary. The power of the Locusts is real. Man, if he hit this base earlier, that'd be huge, but there's still another base. He's got to go snipe that one with his next wave, and even then, TY has taken the bottom left. TY right now is at 20 Ghosts, 13 Ravers, 11 Hellions. The unit's loss tab is still in the favor of Elazer. He's playing this like an absolute champ. Those Infestors, the unit I've talked about, which in conjunction with the Swarm Hosts is so crucial for taking down Ghost Raven mech. It's a hard composition to use, but Elazer's doing a pretty damn good job of it. As he gets behind in these situations, I feel like he plays better and better. He's landing fungals, his Hydras are sniping ghosts, loses a lot of these corruptors. Oh my god, mass snipe coming down. Nice fungal though. EMP lands though, does knock the energy off 2 of the Infestors. Elazer has to disengage. He knows there's too much firepower up there. Locusts come in and another base snipe. Elazer on fire here. His bank is bad, but he's rebuilt his drones. He's rebuilt his economy. If he can get the creep spread back across the map, Elazer is still in this. He's still got Queens respreading creep. Oh, a fungal lands on the Ravens, but he loses 7 Infestors instantly before he can land the punishing blow. Still does not have pathogen glands in this game. A ton of new Infestors just came out, but they do not have energy for fungal just yet. He doesn't have any Vipers. He needs Vipers. Okay, he's got 1. Lands 1 parasitic bomb, but a great spread from TY. Takes a bruising on the Ravens, but they're all still alive. He's low on energy is TY. He's almost completely out of shredders, but he's going to keep pushing forward. This is a ballsy move. If I were TY, I'd back off right now, but he seems content to push forward, and you can see why he did it. He forced the Swarm Host on the defensive, and then he just pulls back. Meanwhile, reestablishes the top right-hand side. He's still mining the bottom side. That was a tactical push. TY never wanted to fight there. He just wanted to bait out the Locusts. The Hydra's coming forward. There's too many Infestors right now, and they're too clumped. A tip for you guys, if you ever want this many Infestors, split them up. Don't put them all in one control group, or it creates a target for EMP and a target for those Raven missiles. But there is just so much chaos in this game that Elazer is getting a little bit sloppy with his Infestor usage, if you ask me. Nice fungals landing on here. Does he have enough Hydras to finish it off? He does kill a lot of the ghosts. Is it enough? But ooh, he's got to go very deep. Loses a few of these Infestors. He's lost his ground support. 15 more Hydras are on the way. Where's his lava? He's out of lava right now. Damn! More Locusts on the top side do kill a lot of these SCVs. TY, though, always so quick to pull the SCVs away. And at the same time, he's going to start counter-nuking. I think that will kill this Ghost. We'll keep that Ghost selected, keep an eye on it in a moment, see if it actually does. The Swarm Hosts are also in a very dangerous scenario right now. They could get picked off. I think he's going to throw Locusts at both locations simultaneously, and that will lock TY's economy down to 1 base effectively. That nuke did land. Did it kill anything? I don't think so. As we see Elazer's supply pretty healthy. He puts the drones back on mining. He's still got this base mining. This base is very important. Elazer needs this base set up. Liberator's coming forward to support now. Oh, dude, Shredder missiles all over the Hydras. Too many of them falling. Oh, no. A whole pack land on the Infestors. And, oh, man, Elazer doing a good job of spreading his Infestors. He's trying to land Fungal, but where's the ground support? Where's the Hydras, the Banelings? Anything. It's just pure Infestor. That's not enough. He's run out of support on the ground. He's trying to build 17 more Hydras, but TY's just kept him so busy. They're not out on time. TY manages to gain position and shut Elazer out of some of his important bases. The top right's being killed. This base, though, still healthy. TY so good at multitasking, constantly running the SCVs away, lifting the command center, and then re-landing it in between Locust waves. Elazer cannot keep up. And finally, the mass Hellion Ghost Liberator Raven medevac push. What a composition. Actually comes through and shuts it down. These ghosts do have 3-3 as well, by the way. I love the late game ghost swap. A Locust come in, Elazer desperately trying to land some damage, but this push was too brutal. Elazer just lost a little bit too much ground in the mid game, and TY seals the deal 2-0. Ends up only being 6,000 resources more efficient. That shows how bloody well Elazer played. But as I said, he had a timing early on to just break through. TY did not have enough siege tanks there. TY was being a greedy boy. It's TY's kind of problem sometimes on some of these maps. But Elazer did not refill his Vipers and didn't use them to chip away at TY at that crucial moment. Once TY maxed out on 5 bases, started swapping into every tech, it was always going to need masterful play from Elazer, but he was a little bit late to swap into Fungal. He didn't creep towards the corners, and he didn't secure the top right base or rotate his Swarmhosts to deny the top right for far too long. So, incredible game. I love the movement and the way that played out, because Elazer showed us something I was not expecting, which is a player actually going toe-to-toe with Ravens and having a good actual fucking way of dealing with it. So he actually played well. Not as well as he could have, but pretty well. And I feel like in a month or two, we might actually see Zergs beating this style, which would be really cool. Why don't you have the workers killed pop up enabled?